Alright, welcome back to the channel. I got the A518 in there. And then I wanted to show you the shift cable here. Anyway, what I had to do is the shift cable runs through the floor, comes down, wraps around. I kind of wish I would have went a little bigger cable. I could have run around the starter and back around. I think I got a 5-foot cable, and I think I should have went with a 6. So I had to route it this way. Looks like it's really close to the header, but it's in all reality it's a finger's width away. It's kind of in the wind or whatever. We'll see once. If I got troubles, I'll just have to replace the cable. And then I got the B&M shifter mount. So it's just like putting a cable shifter in your car. But you got to use the factory lever so you have the right ratio with the shifter. Otherwise, it's moved in and then you don't have first gear. So use the factory lever, the B&M mount that mounts to your deal here. And then you might have to bend it over a little bit for the extension of the lever that sticks out the hole where the hole is located on it. And then, and then install it to the console first. I'll show you that here in a minute. So you install it to the console first, get the cable to the floor, right above the transmission. I got a hole, I'll show you that here in a second. And then the problem is the A518 that I have, this is a later A518, this is a 95, and then the bottom cast is a little different here. But the earlier 518s I don't think have this extra ear on it. This is for a brace, I think, for the four-wheel drive front end. Because this transmission was a four-wheel drive one, and I rebuilt it and made it two-wheel drive and so forth. But I had to drill a hole through, so the cable goes through this hole here, and then so the cable just drives through the hole there, so it can go straight onto the mount. You see what I'm saying there? I think you should be able to see that. You could cut off that ear, so if you're going to do this, and if your transmission has the ear on it, while it's out of the car, let's see, where's my finger? There it is. I would zip this ear off. You don't need it, but you would see that, and then, stuff like that. But in this car, I got a 5.7 hem unit, and that bolts right up, small bolt pattern. Small block Mopar engine pattern. I got a Mylan pan in it, so it clears the center link and stuff like that, and everything seems to fit okay. Conversion headers. And then so basically use the B&M shifter mount so you can mount it to the pan, 727, because that'll work on the A518. And then you got to either drill a hole through that. I should have cut this ear off when the transmission was out, but I decided to cut a hole through it so the cable can run straight to the mount. Obviously you can't kink a cable past this. You have to either get rid of this or you have to drill a hole through it like I did, which wasn't bad. I mean, I used my 90-degree drill and got right up there and drilled a hole right through there. Not a problem. But anyway, let's go to the top. Let's pause this. Alright, so now we're at the top here. I gotta finish wiring this up. But anyway, you can see the hole there. Oh, now you can see the hole. So it's right at the top of the transmission tunnel. And I'll put some silicone in here. Then I utilized, and I unbolted all the brackets, but the floor brackets obviously are left alone. So in turn, besides that hole there, that can be filled or welded or whatever later if you wanted to convert it back. It'd be easy to do. Everything else would bolt right in. But now, so I ran my wires from the transmission through that rubber boot hole where the shift rod went through, I ran them up to the top here, you know. So this is the hot for the transmission. And then the green one I made for the torque converter solenoid. Oh, pardon me, that's the overdrive solenoid. And then the brown one is for the lockup torque converter solenoid. So the radio power, I'm going to run this to the radio, I should say, you know. So when the ignition is on, then that'll be hot all the time. But obviously you can't commit to the circuit because you're going to put a toggle switch on lockup torque converter solenoid wire, and you're going to put another one on the overdrive solenoid wire. So these will go through the switch, and then they'll get grounded. So then what I did is I put this ground wire on here already. So these are all the wires for the switches. And then this one will run under the carpet and go up to the radio, get tapped into there. You might say, well, you got power there all the time. No, because obviously these aren't going to be on when you're sitting still. You shut them off. You only turn them on like it. The lockup torque converter solenoid, I'd probably turn that on about 35, 40, and then the overdrive solenoid about 40 to 45. They're about 5 miles per hour apart. You should turn them on. Okay? And obviously, if you're going to sit back and you're sitting alongside the road or at a car show and you want to listen to the radio, and you put it on an accessory, yeah, it heats up this wire, but these are off because you're sitting still. So it can't commit to a circuit. You see what I'm saying? You understand that, hopefully? So anyway, getting back to the cable now. I ran the cable, obviously, like I said, to the floor. You know, I showed you the bottom on the tranny, how it's mounted. Use your stock shifter lever, but use your B&M cable mount, which I showed you. Now the cable comes up, and this is really cool. This worked out really well. I gotta say, this is awesome. The mount for the floor console there served as also a good cable mount. I put one self-tapper through there. I don't know if you can see that. You know. So that tapped up, see, because it's not adjustable up here on top. And then here, do you recognize what's fastened there to the cable? Well, that's for your mechanical kickdown that you mount on your carburetor. That's that stud. They mounted right on the side of the shifter. But then the hole inside, let's see, I wonder if I can point this out. But the hole that's in here is as big as this outside thing. This would actually fall through there. But what I did is I used 2 1/4-inch stainless steel washers in the middle of this, the thickness of this bracket inside that hole, and then I used 2 big washers, one on each side. Tighten this up and it centered it out, and cable fits right on there, and I'll put a C-clip on there yet. And then you might say, well, it interferes with the outside of the console. No, it does not. It doesn't even come close. So now I can mount the floor console on there. And then you might say, well, where are you going to mount your switches? Well, here's what I'm going to do, I think. If I can show you this. A lot of people, they mount switches on this and all this, but, you know, I want this thing, if you want to bring it back to stock, minus that one hole right there, you can bring this right to stock. I unbolted all this, and I didn't cut nothing, I didn't wreck nothing, just drilled one hole through the floor. This could be converted back. This is all bolt-in. So now the switches, I'm going to make a box or get a switch box. I'm going to put it right in front of the switch, right in front of the shifter. I'll put 2 switches there. Yeah, I could drill a hole in the floor console and stuff, but then there I go. Now, I took a part that was worth $300-400 or more, and I trashed it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some wire loom around the console, and where the screws are that mount this plate down. I don't know if you can see this. Here, let me get a light over there. This plate, you know, I thought about drilling holes through here because you can buy a new plate. But I thought, why? So you see this screw right here where my finger's at pointing at? I'm going to mount the switch panel so it kind of looks like this in front of the shifter, like if the flashlight was a switch panel. It's going to be mounted there, and then the wires are going to run around the floor console. You know, the top of the flashlight, it's going to run around the floor console to underneath it. So you're going to see a little wire loom there, and then the switches. But, you know, if you go to PATC, you can buy that vacuum controlled electronic switch stuff, and you wouldn't have to worry about any of this. Okay, but I don't have the money for that. This channel doesn't support me in any way or anything. This is just information to help all you guys out. But yeah, so now the floor console is going to mount right on there. It'll look totally factory. It'll be cable driven. I mean, I couldn't believe how good that worked out. It's like it was meant to be, you know. So anyway, so now I'm gonna put the floor console together somewhat here, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So, talk to you soon. Alright, so now I got my wires all, got my ground for my switches, got my hot running up under the carpet, up to underneath the dash there, to my radio wires. And then this will run down the side, and then now I'm going to put the floor console top on here. So I got to silicone that hole up right there. I just want to do that quick, and then I got to put a key on back here, right here. So, and then I'll show you with the console top on it. Okay. All right. So we're back again. Anyway, so there it is. You know, the you can see, hopefully in there, the cable, how I got it mounted. Doesn't interfere with anything. And then it shifts very well. I hope there's my camera back again. Anyway, I'm so sorry about this. But yeah, you can see my cable in there. It's out of the way of everything. You can see the shift. Let's see. You can see all that there. You know, I put my key on there. So, I'm so sorry about this video. And then it shifts very well. So, I'll put it up in the park. Shifts real easy. Now, the next step is to drop the plate on there. But I think what I got to do is take the shifter back off. I believe I have. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, so I gotta just take the T-handle back off of it to put the top plate on there. What is going on here? Oh well. Geez, there we go. But yeah, so there it is. There's the shifter. Works really well. So hopefully this helps you out. Again, I'm sorry about my nice production of my video here. You know, you can kind of see my cables mounted in there. I'll show you this again. I'm going to steady your hand here. Hopefully. Yeah. Can't go wrong for that. Okay, so there it is. Huh. Very cool. Nice blurry vision. Thank you, camera, for that. I appreciate that. So, I gotta get a new wood grain centerpiece for it because mine's warped there. It's just warped. There's nothing holding it up, but I tried to twist it and stuff. But that's fine. But it works really well. So I guess I could have drilled holes through this wood grain thing, I guess. Since I'm going to replace it anyway. You never want to drill holes in this plastic console. That is the expensive part. I could easily drill 2 holes here, put the switches here. Easily. But I'm not gonna. I'm going to replace that wood grain trim or whatever you want to call it, the center. But what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go in front of the shifter. This screw right here I'm going to utilize. I'm going to put a pad here. I'm going to put the 2 switches there. That way it's all bolted in. I got the wires here. So you'll just see a little wire going around, you know. And then, yeah. So here's the way I got this. The white is my ground. And then the green's my lockup torque, overdrive, pardon me. And then brown is the lockup torque converter. Overdrive, lockup torque converter, and then a ground. So the ground is like the power, you could say it, but it's not. You know, the ground is the ground. Because what you're switching here is not the positive, not the load side, not the hot side. You're doing the ground side. So I got this bolted to one of the ground wires underneath the console, and then these 2 will go to the switches, you know, that I have laying over there, well, whatever. So yeah, so I'm gonna get a new plate here, I think, because this is warped. This thing, after all, is from 1971, and the new ones look really nice. That's a new shift handle. So yeah, so there it is. Anyway, till the next time, I'll be measuring for the dry shaft and putting the just finishing it up, I guess. So talk to you soon. Bye bye.